So you can kind of see how this ramp goes up that way, that ramp comes down that way, creates a common landing area, and then there's some steps here too that go up to that common landing area. All of this gets filled in. I'll give you a neat backstory.
Okay.
When this building was originally built, that door you're looking at right there on both the east and west side were 3.5 foot lower. This entire area over here was built up due to water issues. Now, I haven't found all of the players that were involved at the time, but I've learned enough to know that this was raised because they had some flooding issues. The waterproofing was not completely sufficient, and so they've still had some water that came in before, and that's why we did everything we did to try to correct that waterproofing issue on both sides of the building. If you want to peek out the door, you can kind of see what we're working on there. See, this was added later. You see that pit right there? That was put in there just to collect the water that came in the building and pump it out. And we're leaving it here, although we don't think we're going to need it. But you can see joints in the concrete back in here where this was built up. You're standing on, right over there is one. It was 3.5 foot lower where we're standing right now originally.
When did they do that?
I can't tell you exactly. I can tell you that the original drawings called for all of the area we're standing in here all the way back to right there to be 3.5 foot lower. This was the steps. You can see right here where it was built up. And so the steps came up here. All of this area was 3.5 foot lower. Now, you can see the waterproofing membrane on the wall. That wraps around the whole corner of the building back here. And if you step out here, you can see where we've installed a manhole that we'll put a sump pump in, and so the drainage piping will collect any water that may accumulate along the side of the building. The waterproofing membrane will protect it from entering the building. We'll collect it and we'll pump it out of there. Now, we're having to pump it because it's actually lower than the outfall piping that exists south of the building. So there will be this same type of installation on both the east and the west side of the building. There's a lot of new electrical work. Everything was rewired. In fact, we have a whole new electric service for just the auditorium that is being installed, and Encore has currently put a new pole line in along the extension of Connolly Street on the south side of the building, and hopefully next week we will cut over the electrical service, and we'll also be able to correct an old problem with the Civic Center where their underground primary runs underneath the pavilion over here where the horses are. So all of that will be fixed as a part of our work. On both sides of the stage, reconfigured the dressing rooms and the toilet rooms, and pretty much all the walls have been installed with the door frames. So the finished work is taking place now. Both sides look similar. And the other side was supposed to be the men's side, but oftentimes the productions that take place here are all women, so we built both sides to accommodate women using both the east and the west. If you want to pop out here, the main thing you can see in here right now is all the mechanical and electrical work that has been done. Lots of conduit has been installed because a new audio-video system is part of the program of work here. So when you look at that south wall and you see all those conduits, that's for data, it's for AV cabling, and it's for power as well. And then we have cable trays that run completely around the entire east, west, and south side of the stage area. The rigging is going to be rebuilt. Some of it's still good, but it has to be upgraded. And 3 of the battens, which can be raised and lowered, will be motorized because they will be heavy and they have lights on them. And as you look at back over here on this east side, this is where all the rigging is manually utilized. So all of the ropes and pulleys and it goes all the way up to the roof. That gets upgraded. 3 of the battens are motorized. You've got, high school students using this, and it was felt that it was a much safer operation that way. New curtain will be going in. New floor will be going in on this stage. It'll be raised up 3 1/8 inches. It's an all wood floor. And then on the very south side of the building, we're adding a property room. It will allow for storage and for possibly even putting some sets together back there to where it's not, it doesn't take up the space on the stage. So that's an enhancement that the county and the school has not had before.
How large is that set room going to be?
It's about 1,800 square feet, as I recall. And we've already installed the drill piers for that foundation, and hopefully today they'll be working on the grade beams for that building. It's a pre-engineered building addition, but it will look much like the rest of the facility because the walls will be plastered and in keeping with the construction that's out here now. This space that's not improved yet is where the dimmer controls, I believe, go. So there's a room here that is dedicated primarily for the theatrical and lighting controls for the building. So it's going to really be a nice improvement when all of that's completed.